Alright guys, so we are playing Knights of the Round. I used to rent this game sometimes from like Blockbuster as a kid. It was a rental for me. But of course, all these games, were in the arcade first. And we are playing the Nintendo Switch version, which allows us to play online. So we're doing online multiplayer. Of course, when James and I play online multiplayer, no, of course we're not playing Fortnite or anything like anybody else plays. We're playing Knights of the Round, the Capcom game from the early 90s. It's because that's what we do. Well...
somebody's... Oh, we got somebody joining us.
Should we just play it?
Yeah, just play it, yeah.
Fuck it.
Is it just me or is it like freezing up now?
Oh, he like made our game like laggy. God damn it.
Oh, somebody.
Alright, wait. Alright. Here. Quit the game. We're gonna have to make it so... You know what we had to do? We probably had to make it friends only.
Oh, okay, friends only. Everybody else get out.
Yeah, I quitted the game entirely. I'm going back into it.
Welcome to James and Mike Monday.
Alright,
So...
I'm going back into the thing. Online mode. We'll play with somebody else, that's fine, but if the game gets all laggy, then that fucks everything up, so...
Yeah.
Alright.
It got really laggy, like it froze.
Yeah, so alright, I'm gonna be Lancelot.
I'm gonna be Arthur.
James is Arthur. To think that somebody out there is dying to play Knights of the Round right now.
Yeah.
You know what'll happen? We'll get really far, we'll be like on the last stage, and then somebody will join, and...
Alright, so anyway, this game, I've actually never played this, believe it or not. A lot. In fact, I'm interested in a lot of these beat 'em ups on this bundle here because we're playing the Capcom beat 'em up bundle.
There's like Magic Sword and King of Dragons, all that stuff. There's just there's like lots of them. But this collection doesn't have a lot of. There are a ton of Capcom beat 'em ups. Like the Dungeons and Dragons ones, for example. There's like Tower of Doom and Shadows over Mystara. Like those aren't on the collection. Like where are those?
It's just, I'm always surprised how many beat-em-ups existed that I didn't know. And really, when I look back, I only played very little of them, it seems like. Final Fight, I played a ton. I used to rent that all the time when Super Nintendo was new. Turtles in Time, that was one that I owned and played over and over and over again. Other than that, I didn't really play that many beat-em-ups, I think.
How about like Golden Axe?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I played Golden Axe in the arcade. I played a little of that on Genesis, I think. And I'm talking about back then. Like, I'm not... Now I've played a lot of them, doing videos and stuff. I think we... Oh, of course, you know what I'm forgetting about? Double Dragon. But I kind of always forget that that's a beat-em-up because it's kind of like an early beat-em-up before it really became so much of a genre, I guess.
Right. There's Renegade. Do you know that one at all?
Oh, on NES?
Yeah, well, it's an arcade game, but yeah, it's on NES.
Oh, okay. I only knew the NES Renegade.
That, I think, was the first of the genre, was Renegade. There's Streets of Rage. All the Streets of Rage games.
Yeah, like Streets of Rage, that's another one where, like, I didn't play it till later.
So each of the characters kind of have different things going for him. Like, my guy, Percival, I think he's just really strong. And Lancelot, I think, is fast. And your guy is maybe like sort of in the middle, I guess. Hey, he just leveled up.
Look at the guy in the back.
They're having a little fight.
He's just like killing that guy on the ground.
It's funny how they added the sides of the screen there to make it like widescreen.
Oh yeah. I always felt like that's unnecessary. I don't like it when they add stuff on the sides. Like you really don't need it.
Yeah.
Like it has to fill the TV screen. You can't have black on the screen. And I'm not, like, against it. It's just kind of like, usually I prefer just leave the black. But, there can be exceptions. Like, it doesn't really matter that much.
Oh, it matters.
You know what I really hate, though? When they don't do it much anymore, but on TV, when they would show old shows that are in 4:3, like, they'd put the ads on the left and the right. Like, that used to piss me off. I don't see that anymore. I think maybe they got the hint that sucks.
So yeah, so we're getting experience like as we're playing and kind of like leveling up. I don't know if it literally makes us stronger, but it's like I guess it's a way to kind of keep it fresh, to where it's like okay, it's not just the same thing the entire game. They're like kind of leveling you up and giving you like different cosmetic outfits, because a lot of times these games can get kind of repetitive. So it's interesting to see what these different games do to try to keep it from getting boring. I feel like if you're somebody designing a beat 'em up like this, that's the challenge the entire way, is how to keep it from getting dull. Because it's
That's true, yeah.
Because all you're really doing is just pretty much tapping the buttons. Unless you're like somebody who's trying to beat the game like without dying or something like that, and like trying to get like really like good at it. Like most people that play these games, it's just like you're in the arcade or whatever, or you're playing it on a console with a friend and you're kind of just like dicking around. That's usually the experience with these games. And it's like you need something in there to keep it interesting. Now luckily we're able to just hit start when we die, but we would have spent a lot of money already, probably several dollars in quarters if we were playing in the real arcade.
It's always barrels that have the items. It's always a lot of times like, what is it that you break to get items? Castlevania, it's candles.
And what the different power-ups are. Ninja Turtles have pizza. Castlevania's meat in the walls, which I don't know how meat help anybody. I think it makes more sense like in Doom when it's like, okay, you actually get like a health package, because it's like if you're getting shot or injured, like in this game right here. So if one of these bad guys cuts your arm or something, how is eating an apple gonna heal you? It's not.
Yeah, I got this wound on my arm. I'm gonna eat a turkey leg and I'm gonna be fine now. It's like the food regenerates their flesh. I mean, that's like the logic in these games. You know, like every game has something like Link gets the items and then they shrink into his pouch. There's always some kind of explanation if you think about it, but it's up to the gamer to use their imagination.
Yeah, do you like the things that I have a problem with? It's like, oh, why would an apple restore my health? When meanwhile it's like, in the game you're like fighting aliens or something. It's like really like ridiculous shit. It's like again with like Doom, it's like, what are you on the moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos and stuff? And it's like I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with, like, healing by means of an apple or...
Yeah, I mean, I think being on the moons of Mars is more realistic, actually, than regenerating. Because you can get to Mars. I mean, nobody's done it yet, but you could get there.
But an apple will never heal your wound.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe in medieval times it did, though. Maybe apples were different. Maybe they're like,
maybe.
Because there's magicians in this world and shit like that. In fact, we just fought one a second ago. Maybe the apples are like cursed or something. I'm trying to give it a reason. Like if I was like a game designer and I'm like, I have to come up with a reason why the apple will heal. That's probably what I would say. They're magic apples. That's a cheap answer though. When you start just like saying magic, it's like, okay.
Oh, magic. Yeah. How'd you do that? Magic.
It's such a bullshit, like lame excuse. The graphics are pretty awesome in this game for back then, at least.
They are, yeah.
It's good, like, sprite animation. I mean, most of those games were, but some better than others, And
also, I can imagine what it would look like on a TV back then, because you can tell it's upscaled for HD, but if you saw this back in the 90s on your, like, small TV screen, I mean, this would look amazing.
Yeah. It would look better on a CRT, probably.
Yeah, and I mean, when I say that, I mean kind of like with a lot of context about seeing it at the time. But I'm not sure, yeah. Like, I don't know, do you feel like if you look at games like this on a CRT TV, like next to an HD TV, do you feel like it would look better on a CRT?
Yes, 110%. Because it totally looks different. I mean, that's why I have a PVM television, and that's why I have CRTs like at my place, because it just, without a doubt, it's definitely a different look. I don't think anybody can argue that. Describing how something like looks and why it looks better, that's pretty a hard thing to articulate.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a matter of opinion a little bit.
I guess so, but the way it looks on a flat screen monitor is not really how it was intended to be. They didn't even have flat screen televisions when these games were made.
It's almost like it's made for like a little bit of a curve on the TV. Also, is laser discs on an old TV. Like obviously, if you put on a laser disc and then put on a DVD or something, the DVD is going to look better. But if you look at a laser disc on an old TV the way it was meant to, I think it looks better. Look at that sword right. Oh, like when he puts it down like that.
Yeah. It's such, all the pixels are so jagged, and if this was on a CRT, it sort of blends together more.
Yeah, it like softens the pixels, Whenever I think of King Arthur, all I can think of is the boy from Sword in the Stone. You know how Disney makes a lot of sequels?
Yeah.
Like a lot of straight-to-video sequels?
Right, they made like Bambi 2 and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Did they ever do one for Sword in the Stone?
No, they should. There's a lot of things they should do.
Yeah, because it would be interesting to see, Arthur grow up, like, him adjusting to his new life.
Well, now what they're doing...
Damn.
What's up?
I'm dead. Let me see if I join. There I go. I'm back. Okay. I'm Lancelot now.
Yeah, it would be cool if they made like Sword in the Stone 2 or something like that. But these days, what they've been doing is like going back and making like live action versions of some of their older movies. Like instead of remaking the same movies that they've already made, how about go back and do like new ideas? Like here's an idea. They've never made like the fairy tale. A Disney adaptation of Hansel and Gretel. They were working on that, and it just never got made for whatever reason. Like, why are we going back and making live action versions of movies that already like exist? And I can understand it if like they made it different enough, but it's kind of like those. It's like they have the same songs, they have the same like, it's like the same everything. And if you're gonna like remake Aladdin, let's say, why does it have to have the same songs? Why don't you make new songs? Like, I don't know. So anyway, getting back to your point about, King Arthur in that. Oh God, somebody's joining.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah. All right, somebody's joining us, so we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully, it doesn't lag us too much.
Okay, so we got a third person in as Arthur. Welcome to James and Mike Mondays.
Yeah.
James and Mike and somebody else who we're not sure who it is.
Yeah, some other random person who has no idea who we are. I mean, that's online gaming for you. Now, there's probably some mode to where you can make it so that somebody can't join, but we couldn't. I looked, I couldn't find it, so.
We later figured out you can disable joining mid-game, but it didn't really end up being that big of a deal.
We got a boss coming up. Oh God, look at this dude. You see this guy coming? Like, don't even bother trying to fight him. You just fucking run. Like, I would not fight this guy. Would you? You would fight this guy? This guy comes out. You're like,
in real life? No.
Yeah, you're like walking down the street, and this guy fucking, you're like at the grocery store or something, and he's like outside by your car.
At the grocery store.
You're gonna fight this guy? Is it what you're telling me?
No. In the game, I'll fight him, though.
Well, yeah, in the game. I'm talking, imagine seeing this fucking guy.
Well, what would you have to gain by fighting him?
No, like, nothing. You're because you're gonna die.
Because you're like, okay, I could like just buy my groceries and get out of here, or like I could go and fight this huge guy.
Okay, I'll tell you what. He's in front of your car and he won't let you to your car.
Oh, he won't even let you to your car?
Yeah, but
then,
it's this guy. It's this guy that won't let you to your car.
Yeah. So in that situation, you're gonna have to like not go to your car for a while.
I guess you're just never getting in your car.
Yeah, I mean, you better, like, call the cops, first of all. Like, hey, there's this big guy with a sledgehammer. He's like this like, 10-foot tall dude. They'd be like, yeah, sure, buddy.
Right, yeah.
But, I mean, the thing is, if that happened, a lot of other people would see it, too, especially if it's in the parking lot.
Well, nowadays, everybody's got their cell phones. People would be recording it and shit.
Yeah. I mean, people would be, like, taking pictures and stuff already. So I think that you'll be believed.
Right. And you know what? You getting your car back is probably like not what anybody's thinking about. They're probably all thinking, first of all, where did this guy come from who's like 15 feet tall?
Like, then just to think about what happens next. The police are going to come, but what are they going to do? Like, they're going to have to bring like a lot of backup on this guy.
They would need like a rocket launcher or something.
Jeez. Call in the rocket launcher.
You'd have to call the army.
They'd have to like... First, they'd have to like safely evacuate the whole grocery store and everybody, and then in whatever shopping center this is in, they're gonna have to get everybody in every store to like close, get everybody out of there.
Actually, you know where it would be. It would be the Voorhees Memorial Shopping Center. But anyhow, so I know you love Sword in the Stone. Have you shown your kids that movie yet?
I have, yeah. A few times. I mean, it's hard sometimes to get them to pay attention to the whole thing.
Well, when you're a kid, it's like watching an entire movie. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of times they don't have the attention span. I finally showed her Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and she finally watched. The first time I tried to show her that, she like wasn't paying attention. The second time, she got really into it. And also the little one. I mean, even she's the little one's too. She hears the songs, Oompa Loompa, and she starts singing it. So like it always helps if there's a song in it that gets in their head. Yeah, Wizard of Oz definitely proves itself as a timeless movie because it's one of few movies from the 30s that you can show a kid and they'd be attached to it.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz is just its own thing. It's just this timeless. It just seems like, I mean, timeless is a good way to put it, but it's like it was made in the 30s though. But just the way it was shot and filmed and just done makes it watchable no matter what era it is. Like it could be 100 years from
People
now.
are always surprised to hear that it was from 1939. Like they're always like, what? Like it's that old?
Because it's in color.
Yeah, they don't expect it. Like a lot of people think it's like the 50s at least.
Are there any good live action movies you can think of that have to do with like knights and? I mean, there's like Lord of the Rings, but that's a little different.
Okay, you mean like medieval times? Like,
yeah, I'm
like
trying to
not
think of
like
stuff
a
like
fantasy...
that. Like the only thing I can think of, because I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, movies about like medieval times and stuff, and the only thing coming to my mind is there's a Thundercats episode where they go back to like, so Excalibur and Knights of the Round and all that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the movie Excalibur. That's a pretty good one.
I haven't seen that. Is that good?
Yeah, from what I remember, it's pretty good. Like if you're looking for something like that. See, right now I should be looking at my VHS tapes because I have like a section in the store.
Do you have a medieval section?
I have a sword and sorcery section. Uh-oh, we're frozen.
Oh, wait, no, it came back.
I'm guessing it has to do with like when you have 3 people online. I'm thinking that if one person's internet lags for some reason, then it lags the whole game.
This was working pretty damn well though. Like it's not too bad. This is the kind of game that you can get away with a little bit of lag. If you're playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, like you're not going to be able to play that shit like online.
Oh yeah, that'd be a problem.
Oh, it shows all their. By the way, just like Final Fight or something like that, it shows all their like names and shit on the bottom of the screen. We didn't mention that. Everybody's named Buster. When they originally started making games like this, the first thought they had was probably, what kind of games can we make to get people to pump as many quarters in like as possible? So yeah, but oh my god, look at this. Sorry, that threw me for a loop. I was like, look at that fucking thing. You know what game also has crazy like boss fucking character designs is like Final Fantasy 2 and 3, like the Super Nintendo games. There's like giant like octopus characters and like creepy babies and like giant like mech characters and shit. It's just like,
it's been a long time since I played that. I would love to play that again.
What do you think is the challenge of playing like an RPG like that? Because when you're playing something like that, it's like if you keep just playing, you're eventually gonna win because you gradually get experience and then you get more and more experience. Like there's really no way you can't win if you just keep playing it.
I guess it's just all that matters is if you're enjoying the game. I think that's really all that matters. But yeah, it's like not like a reflex based game. Like it's more like the strategy of like what items to use and when. I mean, like RPGs are kind of like advanced board games. It's like an electronic version of a board game in a way, where like there is a lot of luck involved, but there's also strategy.
So some people play these games and get good enough at them that they can like one credit them. And I don't mean like this game specifically. I just mean like beat 'em ups. So like there is definitely, you can get really good at these. People talk a lot about like speedruns and high scores, but how about the dudes that can beat this without dying? Like I think that's fucking impressive.
That is impressive, yeah.
That's a whole nother skill set. This is the end of the game, by the way. He's got 2 energy bars.
Yeah, and they both go all the way across the screen, or at least that one does.
Is he gonna get back up? There he is. Oh, he's getting off.
Oh, he's getting serious now.
I noticed that, like when the lightning flashes, there's a mountain in the background that's like a big giant snake or something. You can only see it if the lightning flashes. It's pretty cool. All right, that is it. And that is it. And then wait, look at this. So Merlin.
We got the Holy Grail.
Look at this. It's Merlin. Dad. Dan.
No, I really couldn't think of anything. I was just like,
I like how whenever we play and you put your name in, you always put in like some random. Last time it was Sid. This time it's Dan.
Well, what are you gonna do with 3 letters? It's like all these games, they only give you 3 letters. I hate that.
Imagine being in the arcade and you're playing this game and you beat it and you see an ending in the arcade and you're standing there watching. That would be fucking epic. It's like the early 90s and you beat like an arcade game.
I think only once or twice I've seen somebody beat an arcade game. I think one time it was Turtles and the other time it was X-Men.
I beat Double Dragon.
Oh, in the arcade? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Yep, many more Mondays, many more games.